Hey Builder Blog, welcome to my mind. Yeah, I've got something stuck in my head today, and I just have to draw it to get it out. Is it what you want to see? Probably not. But I struggle to focus on other projects until I get ideas out of my head. I don't know if anyone else is like this, but I am. So, as a lot of you know, I do the Bot Bash party service, where I bring robots to kids' birthday parties and they fight each other. Roar! Micro Drive versus Bananarama. And when I make these robots, I make them with this. So, internally, we call these master frames. And I started doing this in 2020. They take 10 to 12 hours to CAD. But what they are is they're the underlying portion to the robot, and every single thing you need for the robot is made into the frame. So a spot to put the battery, spot to hold the motors, spots to hold all the screws and everything. It's all in here. And once we make a master frame, I generally start making variants, where this is micro drive and this is circuit breaker. And we have a rule at Bot Bash. You need to be able to set any two robots next to each other, say their names, and instantly know which one's which. So if I say micro drive and circuit breaker, you're going to probably imagine the robot with circuitry as circuit breaker. Unfortunately, micro drive was our first robot, and his name doesn't quite pass that rule, and so he just counts on all the other robots having a stronger theme. But I do this a lot. Like, here's another one of our master frames. And this is also a rear pivot lifter. I should have picked one of the hammers. But this first got turned into tidal wave, where the servo's in the back, swings, and you can see that master frame up and under. But then we made his next variant, Bananarama. Yeah, with our favorite FingerTech banana for scale. He fights every weekend. This got made into another variant. First Responder, our fire truck robot with his little fire truck ladder. And we just keep the variants coming. It's the whole multiverse here. This is Savage Slice, our pizza themed robot. Who, yeah, you need a pizza bot. So, when we started Bot Bash, I was not making master frames. Each robot was a custom tape and hope hodgepodge, and I went through this process of turning my handmade robots into master frames. And you can see I used to do a lot more like carbon fiber layup and other stuff. Microdrive actually did win gold and silver at Robo Games, and a lot of first places. So today, what I'm doing, scoop everything out of the way here, clear my mind. I keep picturing a master frame for this robot. This is Scoopsy Daisy. Oopsie Daisy, it's the Scoopsy Daisy. And this is a beloved little tread robot. We don't have a single tread frame, master frame using treads yet, so we're going to try. This robot is actually originally using a Pololu frame. Now this is a stock frame off Pololu. No, they're not sponsoring the video. And I'm going to replace it. One of the biggest complaints about Scoopsy Daisy over the years, this is a beloved robot, but the treads tend to fall off. And one of the things I want to do to try to fix this is I'm actually going to shrink the wheel and stretch the tread. And I've had another robot in my head for a very long time called Avalanche that would use tank treads and then have a hammer that looks like a climbing pickaxe. And so that's going to be the variant. And yeah, so let's do this. I want to use these motors because I have a lot of them, and they don't burn out, unlike my N20s. And one of the issues I've had is each time I put these motors in a robot, the robot ends up being super wide, because I usually like having the servo in the middle, and then that's why so many of the robots are now this wide, which is my maximum length. And I don't like that. A lot of my robots used to have different sizes, and I want to see if I can use these motors but make it compact. So that's one thing about the treads. If we stagger them, so if we put one here and one here, and we'll put a tread on this one running back and a tread on this one running forward, this would allow me to shrink the footprint, possibly a lot, and make a smaller frame that uses the repeat robotics motors. So next, I do have to make sure it's wide enough to fit the battery. And then we'll put the Malenki right there. And yeah, this is how I really do this, guys, is I actually like doing this on top of graph paper, because it allows me to really like measure out, if I go all the way to the 0 line here, measure out how big the robot needs to be. And then let's say the battery's there, and then that's here. And this is how a lot of my robots start. And yeah, it's real funny when you're doing this on the floor with chalk to make a heavyweight. So it looks like I need to be about 3 inches wide. Actually, maybe we can get away with 2.5. 2.5 for the body. And it looks like we definitely need, if I pull this to the side a little, at least 3 inches, maybe 3.25 for the overall length. And then we're just gonna stick a servo right on top. Boop. This back corner, we will put the power switch. Yeah. So this is the idea I have rolling around in my head that I just can't get out of my head. So let's go sit down at the computer and turn this hodgepodge of things into a frame. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here it is. So I did my very first print, and it did not go spectacular. So clearly I do need to reprint this, but I was a little fast and sloppy with my numbers. And I don't know how many builders do this, but filament is pretty cheap. And so I call this the first fit test, where I print things and I just see what the fit and finish is, because, you know, I have to go through and reset some printer settings to make this work properly. But now I can also go through and see, like, does this plug fit back here like it's supposed to? No, it doesn't. So I know I need to open that up. I can put the forks up here, the forks in, and see how that fits. But the big thing is I've been just kind of playing with these little floppy treads, and I want to see if I got the diameter and the spacing right. So Here we go. We're going to put this on there and whoops. So I'm way off. Well, about a ½ inch off. I think the diameter needs to be a little bit bigger because I'd like this robot to have a little more ground clearance, and a bigger diameter would help us take a little bit out of that. And this is one of the best parts about the 3D printing. And I know a lot of people are screaming, "You could have calculated that in CAD. Why did you not calculate more?" Let me show you. Literally the very first sketch that started everything. And I'm going to change this number to 3.5. And then I'm going to hit finish sketch. And if you've drawn your model right, it will just, once the process is, go bloop, and boom. I make a lot of variations of this, so I make sure to draw it in a certain way that I can come in and just edit one dimension and get a completely different model. And now I just press print again, and the 45 minutes I wait for my printer to make this, I'm going to use that to edit. 45 minutes later. Bloop. There it is. And actually, I did take some time to fix a lot of other things. Like, I made this. This should fit this time. Boop. Boom. Just like it's supposed to. And I took the servo out to the shop. But I've cleared this hole. And how I'm doing I've literally just stolen all the parts from the Pololu kit. It's a nut, a washer, and a shoulder bolt. Shoulder bolt. So we have our new wheel at a bigger diameter. The shoulder bolt should go in. It's a little tight. I thought I fixed that, but clearly I need a little more, because that should spin freely. And that is clearly not. But I don't have a wrench at the moment, so this doesn't matter. So the nut goes into the pocket. Pocket nut. It's a lot like pocket sand. And we're almost there. Get in there. Boom. And then we screw this on. And when I do the final assembly, this will include Loctite and grease, because I will not be happy until this can spin freely on there. But next, we just push this onto this. And now that I have my two things lined up, let's see how tread fits. Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a tread bot. Now, little screws, little lining up, little drilling. It's a smidge tight. I think I might take a little bit out. I also think I'm going to add a third post here so I can... tanks just look cooler with more wheels. Yeah. We'll put the forks up here. The servo goes there. Second tread will go there. And my God, this thing's looking cool. Okay. Let's take an 1/8 inch out of the frame to see if we can get a better tautness. We have to add the spokes to the wheels. So now that I've picked my thing, I can add in the little spoke pieces and get that printing. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry to make this a two-parter, but I gotta go to work, and I'm not quite done, but Please like and subscribe. Come back next week, and I will show you how far I've gotten. I should have this done by next week. I'll have this completely wrapped up in about another hour. But all right, there it is. I'm pretty happy with this.
What is this, endgame? No, absolutely not. Too many straight lines, start over.